The greatest teacher is called doing. Kevin Kelly. My friends, doing each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes. That's what we call it. Following the markets, doing your practice trades. When you get good, you think you're getting good. That's when you move into fractional trades. What are they? When you look at something like the S&P 500 that closed today at 561.40, you might, if your online brokerage allows you to do fractional shares, you might do $100 worth. And then that's easy to keep up with how you're doing. Did you make 2% on that? Did you lose 8%? Then you can really see how well you are doing. Of course, if it's something with smaller dollar amounts like HODL, like Bitcoin, closed at 67.89. Now, this is the Bitcoin ETF, not to confuse you. Or what about 20-year U.S. government bonds at $99.59? Again, you can practice trade these things with just one share or a fraction of a share. Then you get to practice doing your actual entering on the website that you're going to be trading off of. That is your online broker's site. You can buy $100 worth. Then you can go ahead and put in your good till canceled sell order using your profit and loss bands so you know what it is you want to make and how to execute those kinds of things. So again, lots of fun to be had here as you start getting better and getting closer and closer to real trading. When do you real trade? Well, that's totally up to you. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We want to help you learn. Now, by doing. Let's jump into these charts. Everything down for the day except Bitcoin. It's up just a tiny amount. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We see the candlestick itself moving toward that prior high. We can see that the wick has gone above it, but the S&P 500 actually down for the day. Look at all that range in the afternoon, bumping up and coming back to almost a doji. And what actually happened? Well, the market, the S&P index closed down 0.30%. We can look at the two-day chart that finished drawing today. The candle itself's bumping right up on where things topped out. We have that wick going a little higher, but you can see where on the half day bumped up to it on the morning of Tuesday, the 17th, and then did what? Rolled back below it. So we will keep our eye on things as we continue to push through these days, hoping to see some volume matched up with price that will give us an idea as to what's actually going on. Right now, it looks like the powers that be don't want to let this market get away from them. Why? Well, it's their election year, my friends. If it's the Republicans in charge or the Democrats, you see the same kind of pressure exerted by the people in charge that want to get reelected. Now, let's look at where we are on the NASDAQ 100. The tech stocks down 0.43%. We can see we have a green up candle for this week. We can see on the two-day chart trying to move up some. But as we look at things overall on the half-day chart, very similar to the S&P, you can see where things drove up on this chart actually on Friday, again on Tuesday morning. But again, moving back down. Now, how do we draw? I can't even find a trend line to draw. I'm like, well, do we try to redraw a trend line here? I mean, we can, get below that price. I don't even know. It's sloppy. Summertime trading zone, things are sloppy. We'll continue to just wait for things to settle out and give us some indicators like price. That is Heikin-Ashi candlesticks teamed up with volume and trend lines. What's going on with 20-year U.S. government bonds? Man, crashing down hard today, down 1.24%. I told you, you can't read this stuff right now. Yes, it has been going up for a while. Yes, we did have a doji back with decent volume. You could call that an interim low and then a move up. But of course, would you have even stayed in this? The second week after the doji with high volume was not what we like to see, which is Again, a green spinning top. It was a green up candle. And what did it do? Of course, it dropped back down. Would have scared the hell out of you and pulled you out of the move most likely. Moved up a little bit the next week and then dropped down the following week, the 26th of August, beginning that week. And then here in the last 3 weeks, it has moved up, but you can see almost all that movement was in that first week of September. So again, these aren't the kind of charts that you're going to be trading off of because you don't have volume. You don't have candles matching up to tell you what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So we're keeping our powder dry. What's going on with gold? Gold was ranging up this afternoon. You can see where it really, I looked at it at one point, it was way up. Then I look at it later and it's way down. It's down 0.77% for the day. Now again, you look back and you can see how things have ticked along, but they went up starting at the beginning of July to mid-July and then popped over with a doji, showing you lots of indecision tending down. It was a red doji, then a green spinning top, then another doji. Then it went up 3 weeks, then a doji. Then the last 2 weeks, again, hard to see any kind of patterns in this sloppiness. Again, with weeks where you've got no volume, weeks where you have average or above average volume, but candles not matching up, telling you what the hell's going on with the volume. So we keep our powder dry. What's going on with Bitcoin? It's actually up a smidgen, 0.12%. So again, barely up. You can see in the morning a lot of, ranging. It was just sort of a red doji. In the afternoon, a green spinning top. Lots of movement on top, but then things settled down. So again, nothing here to report back to main base regarding anything that we see worthwhile. I can't wait for us to get out of the summertime trading zone and then enter into the fall winter, where things typically get better, smoother, nice, more consistent moves. I'm not saying they're going to be up or down. If you ask me, it's going to be tough. I would say after the election, anything's possible going into it. You know, the powers that be are going to do everything they can to keep this elevated market up. After November election, there's no telling what can happen. It could go completely to pot. Anyway, thanks for being with us. We'll continue to track these markets every day. So appreciate our Patreon members and all their support. I did record for you yesterday the Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. I'm going to put it up here in just a minute. I've gotten it uploaded to YouTube, and I'll connect that video for our Patreon members. For everybody else, that'll go out on Friday afternoon. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.